Poverty Franchise Podcast. Oof. Welcome back. How y'all doing?
Frank, go ahead.
No,
Okay. Well, I've been straight, just chill, you know how it be. Just going through it, I guess. Like going through the motions.
You, Frank? How you been?
What kind of motions you go
Frank
through?
freeze?
Khalil's frozen?
No. Khalil froze. Yeah, you froze.
Me? Okay,
Khalil was going through zero motion.
Yes, bro's just not going through the motions.
Yeah. How you been, Frank? Let me know, because I didn't hear you. So.
I've been really busy. We haven't recorded in a while. That's not why. I'd say we're all pretty busy somewhat.
It's always like one of us is busy. It's not all of us ever, though.
That's true. Yeah. I just had a lot of track meets Thursdays and Saturdays, and so. And also
when does track season end for you?
Like end of the year.
Jeez, oh my goodness! So it's gonna be like this for the rest of the year, guys.
It is. Yeah, you should join you should join a sport club. You should do like chess club or something.
Chess club is so crazy. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't even think my school does have a chess club.
So you gotta join.
I might sign up.
Then you can say you do one sport.
Yeah, I'm D1 chess. D1.
That's crazy.
I've been solid too. I've been straight. I'm just excited to go to this Thunder game tomorrow. That's what I'm really looking forward to at the moment.
So,
bro, look constipated. That's crazy.
Wait, what? No,
go ahead.
No, so Khalil, is Shay gonna play?
Look, I hope so. Like I really hope so. Just because I know he literally cannot play back-to-backs at the moment. Like, that's what the team doctors said. And we have a back-to-back against the Clippers and Lakers, and I think he's going to probably most likely play the Lakers. But just hoping that maybe, like, they play him both games, even though it's not going to happen. And they just don't play him against, like, the Blazers on Sunday and then the Pistons and Hornets on Tuesday and Wednesday. Like, we have a really easy schedule past this week. I think next week we play the Pistons, the Hornets, the Pacers. We play the Blazers on Sunday. Like, we're playing all the bad teams except for the Rockets, the Magic, and the Spurs. So, I mean, like, we can afford to not play Shea next week. I just really think, not because I have tickets, but I just really think we need him both of these games. I think it's really important that Shea plays. Just me.
I think it's super important that you sell your tickets.
Not happening. Sorry. The seats are so good. I'm sorry. I can't.
This is so good.
Crazy too.
And your All-Star ain't playing.
Got hurt yesterday too.
Oh yeah,
he did.
I might get to watch Paul George. Who knows with Kawhi? I'm just about to be there watching Russell Westbrook and like Lou Dort. That's gonna be the whole game. I had good. The only other NBA game I went to though, I had good luck because LeBron was questionable beforehand. It was a Lakers-Knicks game last season. And he ended up playing that day. So who knows? Maybe luck will be on my side again. I don't think it will. I think Shea is not going to end up playing, but who knows? Maybe I'll get a high five or something in the tunnel or something. I won't because I'm not near the tunnel, but maybe he'll see me. You guys should watch the game because I'm like in the middle and you should see me. I don't know.
National broadcast?
No, it's the Thunder and the Clippers on a random Thursday. So no.
Okay. You know what you should do is bring one of those, those kids that bring like one of those big pieces of cardboard and it says like, my first NBA game, with no Shea, no PG.
Oh, like what happened with the Jimmy Butler kid? I'd be like, I traveled 20,000 miles to come see Shea, knowing I made like a 2-hour drive down, missed school.
Yeah, because you know what's crazy? A few years ago, it was 8th grade. I was gonna go to a Warriors-Lakers game.
Oh, you tell us this story all the time.
I know, but a lot of people don't know it. They don't know it. Right.
Yeah.
So I sell those tickets so I can go on a trip with some of my friends. And I come to see later on that date, Draymond wasn't playing. Or sorry, Draymond was playing. Steph, Durant, and Curry and LeBron were not playing. Ain't that a W? So.
Hey, I mean, it saved you from having to watch Durant or Draymond Green versus the whole Lakers team. I don't know what that would have been a terrible game to go to.
Yeah.
Was it? It was in LA. It was in LA. I would imagine.
It was in LA.
Yeah. But yeah, first game I went to, great experience. I've actually been to crypto / Staples Centers 3 times. I went to a WWE event like 4 or 5. Actually, no, it was like 5 or 6 years ago at this point. And then I went to a Knicks-Lakers game, which was really cool. Got to see LeBron miss a game winner and Russell Westbrook stink it up. It was one of those games where, like, Russell Westbrook got booed by the Lakers fans at one point. It was, like, clearly one of his, like, last games where people actually wanted him on the Lakers. So, that's enough about Shea and me going to the Thunder game and all that. Maybe I'll post some clips on the Instagram if you check that out. Poverty Franchise Player of the Week. Where y'all want to go with this? Y'all go first.
All right. So, my Poverty Franchise Player of the Week is Zion Williamson. Now, look, their team is a 12th seed right now without him. Were they the second seed or the first seed?
They were the second seed, I think, or it was one or the other. I think they were the second seed at one point when he was playing.
Yeah. And what? So we thought he'd be back a bit sooner, and it was just like, and now I just got a report. Was it today or yesterday? He's getting reevaluated in 2 weeks.
The season's
In
over
3
in 2
weeks. The season's over. The season's over in 3 weeks. You ain't making the playoffs. You might as well just sit him the whole season.
They are going to sit him the whole season, I think.
Yeah, you should. Don't play him. You just gotta wait till next year, and really, they should trade him.
I don't think you can trade. I don't know who would trade.
Why not? The team would take a chance on him. You get a player that isn't as good as him to come and play non-injured minutes. You know.
But who do you get in return for Zion? Like, what level player are you asking for Zion? Because obviously he's always injured, but when he does play, he's like an all-star, like a young,
like an A+ role player.
So Zion for Lou Dort,
like Dorian Finney-Smith first, something like that. No, but I think you get like a borderline all-star because you can say that he's an all-star starter, right?
Yeah,
maybe most of the time. Sometimes
when he's healthy, he was an all-star starter. I think. I know he made the all-star game. I don't know if he was a starter or not. So
can both of y'all guess how many games he's played?
39.
How many games do you think he played?
Like 30, maybe 39 is a good number. I'll say 34.
Never mind.
He played 29 games.
I really thought he was around for a big chunk of the season, but when you really think about it, from November to like January isn't that much time in like NBA sense. So he was around for 3 months, but he got hurt in the beginning of January, so it was like 2 months. So yeah,
right.
Shout out the Pelicans though. I mean, as a Thunder fan, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about them. That's like the one team that we consistently cannot beat this year. Brandon Ingram is always cooking us. Zion was cooking us. And now when Zion's not playing, I mean, we don't got to worry about them. I'm not really pressed about any other team in the I'm fine in the West. That's what Ja said. We're fine in the West. We're fine in the West. I'm not scared of Denver. I'm not scared of Memphis. I mean, Ja might shoot Shea if something goes wrong, but like I'm not scared of Memphis. Not scared of Sacramento. Definitely not scared of the Clippers. The Warriors who can't win on the road, nah, I'm not scared of them. Who else I got to be worried about? The Timberwolves? Rudy Gobert? And Karl Anthony Towns who played 10 games all year? Are you serious? Come on now. In future Western Conference champions, I'm guaranteeing it right now. We're winning the West.
The Memphis Grizzlies?
Grizzlies are soft.
Oh, you mean okay.
Yeah, the Thunder. We're winning the West.
Thunder's not even a playoff team.
What? I think we're the 7th seed right now. I'm pretty sure.
You're the 7th seed. That's not playoffs. That's play-in.
Look, 2 years ago, that's the playoffs. 2
get...
years ago, that's the playoffs. I don't care. 2 years ago, that's the playoffs.
You guys are about to.
We're gonna lose both games in the play-in.
In the play-in.
Nah, we're half a game back.
You're gonna lose to like.
We're half a game back of the 6th seed. We're making the playoffs. I don't care. All we gotta do is just beat the Clippers and then beat the boo-boo Lakers with soft Anthony Davis and LeBron, who's not even playing. And we just got to worry about D'Angelo Russell and who? Wenyen Gabriel, Malik Beasley, who might shoot 2 for 14 from 3. What? Stop playing with me.
Look, they're probably, OKC's going to be like, oh, well, I guess it's back-to-back. We got to sit Shea.
Yeah, they're gonna sit
Shea. Shea needs rest. Sorry.
Guess what? Shea does need rest, but you know who we do have? Josh Giddey.
You want to know who the Lakers have? Devon Reed.
I don't think
Javon
I've seen him
Reed.
play. I've watched the Lakers games back, and I haven't seen him play, I don't think. And who did they trade? They traded Thomas Bryant for Javon Reed just to go get Mo Bamba, and then
Why?
Mo Bamba got hurt?
Mo
That
got
is
hurt.
such a Lakers thing to do. I mean, I'm not gonna hit on them too much because their trade deadline was really good, but like that move just really still doesn't make much sense to me, especially with the Mo Bamba injury. That makes it look stupid. Before you go with your poverty franchise player of the week, I'll say mine. A couple weeks ago on Instagram, we made our underrated and overrated players, or not underrated, overrated, most disappointing and most surprising players. And my most disappointing player was Jabari Smith. Literally the next day, he went on to have his best game of the season, and he's been actually really solid as of late. So I'm not going to be like one of these, media personalities like Kendrick Perkins or something who's wrong and then just refuses to be wrong. I was wrong. Jabari Smith is good. He's just having a little rough patch. So shout out Jabari Smith Jr.
I'm surprised none of you guys said this, but Dylan Brooks, bro's just a clown. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bro's goofy. He's goofy.
Cool. Can I say mine one more time? Can
Yes.
I change mine really quick? I just want to talk about Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is such a clown, and he was like my favorite player on the Warriors. If I see that man stick up the four fingers one more time, oh my God, I saw a comment and they're like, Klay sticks up the four fingers because he was the fourth most important person on half of those championship teams. Like, oh, it's so funny. It's like if anything happened at any time, he puts up the four fingers. He could LaMelo Ball could hit a three to get the game from within double digits. It'll be like a 14-point lead against the Hornets. LaMelo hits a three and puts three to the head, and best believe Clay's going to be on the bench like four.
No,
I won four.
You know that meme?
1, 2,
You know that meme
four.
that the dude just like
Yeah. With the four. Yeah, that's 2015, 2018, 2017, and 2021.
Nah, but like,
okay.
Whenever he's losing an argument, he just
four. I won four.
Bro thinks it's Wendy's. Huh?
Like, oh my goodness.
Hey, I mean,
he did win four. I mean, I can't say
he did win four.
Yeah,
he got a
but,
point. They dominated the era.
He was low key the fourth most important person on those championship teams, though. A couple of them. The fourth most important. Steph, when they had Steph, Clay, Draymond, and KD, you can't tell me he wasn't the fourth most important player. Steph was one. Steph for KD was one, right? And then those two are 1 and 2. And then who's more important, Draymond or Clay? At that time.
Yeah, but having Clay makes Durant and Steph better.
It does. But I mean, not having Clay doesn't hurt you that much. You can get another dude who can shoot threes. Yes, you can. Are you telling me if the Warriors had Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Draymond Green, and you replace Klay Thompson with like Joe Harris, they're not winning the championship against those boo-boo Cavalier teams?
You're not winning.
Joe Harris, what? Steph Curry, Steph, Kevin Durant, and Draymond.
Oh,
maybe I'm underrating Klay Thompson because I don't think he was that crazy important.
And he was a good defender.
Yeah, he was a good defender. Okay, who's a good 3-and-D player? Who's not like an all-star?
Me?
Josh Richardson.
Yeah, Josh Richardson. Steph, Josh Richardson, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green.
Definitely not. Not even.
Okay, would you rather have Josh Richardson?
Change the subject. Change the subject. You're wrong.
You want to go NFL first? Yeah, we're going NFL first, right? So this is kind of like a little mini series. For the next few episodes, we're going to do like a little breakdown of each division based off of their free agency moves. Obviously, the draft hasn't happened yet, but like free agency wise, we could talk a little bit about a lot of the big moves because most of the big name players are gone. And I think the position or the division we're going to start with is the NFC North: Chicago, Minnesota, Green Bay, and Detroit. We'll talk about each of the moves that each of the teams made, and then maybe discuss who we feel like at this point in time is the favorite. So I think the team that we'll start with is going to be the Chicago Bears. Obviously, before we talk about their free agency acquisitions, we have to talk about the fact that they traded the number 1 overall pick to Carolina for the 9th pick, a second, a first next year, I believe, DJ Moore, and then a couple more picks. So the first actual player that they acquired was DJ Moore via trade. So first and foremost, how are we feeling about the number 1 overall pick trade
It's a
for
scam.
both sides?
The Bears
So, I'm
scammed
glad we're on the same
the
page.
living life out of the Panthers. The Panthers did not need to give up that much, but I guess they really wanted it. So, yeah. I feel like the Panthers could have given up someone else other than DJ Moore and still get the first overall pick. But I don't know.
I think my thing is, I think
Who did
Say
the
that again?
Panthers want?
Okay, so
Who did the
that's what
Panthers
I was
want?
Go ahead.
literally just about to get at. I don't.
Okay.
Maybe it's just me, and I think on our last episode we talked about like NFL quarterbacks and like the first round guys. I don't think there's any quarterback this year that
Yeah.
was worth trading all of that for. Like, all of them
Right.
have their limitations. Bryce Young, as great as he is, who knows if he can stay healthy? You traded your best weapon for whatever quarterback you're taking, because they better take a quarterback. Because if they don't take a quarterback, I'm gonna be shocked. You traded up to 1 to take what? Jalen Carter, the felon, the criminal, the thug. You wanted to
Frank's
take Jalen
face was
Carter?
so lost. Yeah.
They better take a quarterback.
No, Frank, your face was like,
Wait.
Remember, he was speeding like a lot, and I think he was speeding and he got his friend killed or something. I don't know. He wasn't found. What it is.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I just know they better not take Anthony Richardson because he's too raw of a prospect to take at 1, and trade your best weapon 4 to get. Like, that doesn't make sense. Will Levis is still grown off of me severely. I honestly think he fell past Richardson as my 4th quarterback. I don't know if I had him as my 4, but he's fell down to 4 at this point. I don't love C.J. Stroud, and I don't think C.J. Stroud is good enough to trade all of this for. And then Bryce Young, as complete as he is, and he's clearly the best quarterback prospect in the draft, like, the height and the size limitations are kind of severe. He actually measured in, I think, shorter than we thought, but he's a little heavier than we anticipated. So, and at one of his interviews, he was wearing like sneakers that were as close to being high heels as possible. It was so crazy. He's trying to give himself an extra 3 inches. It was insane. Frank, go ahead though.
Got it.
I mean, so
Go ahead. No, I don't have anything
Go
to
ahead.
say. No, but I mean, oh yeah, go ahead.
Say it.
No, I mean, it's just similar.
Oh.
It's just similar stuff.
Okay. Well, I think that the Panthers,
it's a scam.
with their
It's like-
history of drafting big quarterbacks, they're probably going to take Anthony Richardson, knowing he's a project. I mean, that's it. Like, it sucks that they gave up DJ Moore, so he's going to suck to develop. Like, it's going to be terrible. But, yeah, they're probably going to take Anthony Richardson just for the upside. But there's nothing to develop the upside.
As for the Bears side of this, how are we feeling? I mean, obviously you said it was a steal, but Chicago is moving out of the top 6, 7, out of the top 8, I guess, if you want to say that. They're not getting any of the quarterbacks, but obviously they weren't going to do so. I don't know if they're going to be able to get Will Anderson Jr. or Jalen Carter. Depends on where they end up. I know Jalen Carter's kind of gone down boards just because of this whole situation. But if they're able to get Jalen Carter at 9, geez, I mean, I do think Jalen Carter is the best defensive player in the class that I've looked at thus far. I would honestly take him over Will Anderson a little bit, just for different reasons. They're completely different prospects. But I do think Jalen Carter is a very good prospect. And if you could get him at 9, along with getting DJ Moore, the other picks, and the other free agency moves that they did make, which we'll talk about right now, I think you're looking decent going into next year. I don't know if it's going to be like a Bengals type jump where you go from make one of the worst teams in the league to Super Bowl, but I do anticipate they'll be a competitive team. It won't be like 2 wins or 3 wins. I think we could see 5, 6, 7. I don't know if I'm going to pick anything over 7. I have to look at their schedule, and once we see the schedule, we'll obviously do what we did last year and make our schedule predictions. But I'd say, just based off of what they've done so far, I think they've elevated themselves by like 5 wins.
I think they will.
Anything else?
No,
Anything
that's
else on the
it.
trade?
I mean, they just trade back to 9. I think it's 9, right? Pretty sure. Yeah, and they have future assets too. And I think after this season, DJ Moore's going to need a contract extension. Don't quote me, but I'm sure they're going to be willing to pay him if necessary, because
he just signed an extension last year. 3-year,
Never mind.
$2 million. So he's good. He
Yeah.
got it. Yeah, he's under contract.
Yeah, that's a really good trade for the Bears side of it. But you guys want to get into their acquisitions and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have a list of all of
All
the acquisitions thus far. The only 2 people they've lost is David Montgomery, who just got off of his rookie deal. He's a running back, so I don't really care. I think running backs are pretty replaceable. So, boo-hoo, they don't have David Montgomery. They also lost tackle Riley Reef. Ooh, I don't really care. They brought in T.J. Edwards, linebacker from Philadelphia, the best linebacker in the free agency class, Tremaine Edmonds, DeMarcus Walker, Travis Homer, and Nate Davis. I don't know who DeMarcus Walker and Travis Homer is. I'm not going to lie to you. I've heard Nate Davis's name a couple times. I think he's pretty decent. I don't really know. He's an offensive lineman. But as far as those 2 linebackers go and DJ Moore,
They also brought in Robert Tunyon. Don't sleep. It's another tight end right there. And Dante Foreman as a replacement back.
That's right.
Oh, maybe
So-
they,
Again, just
Yeah.
building up that committee in the backfield. You know, if
I did read that.
what's his name? Oh my God, what's bro's name? No, I was about to say Hurts. If
Hurts?
Fields wants to just keep the
Field?
ball or let it go or like hand it off, cool. So be it.
Hurts.
He can hit his big body tight ends if necessary. Robert Tunyon and Cole Kmet. And yeah, they're kind of protecting him ish. I wouldn't say that exactly, but they're emphasizing defensive line and defense essentially. And then parts of the offense, I guess, in DJ Moore and Tunyon and Dante Foreman. But
Right. And they also still already had what's his name? Dude from Pittsburgh. Chase Claypool. Darnell Mooney, who's really good to me. So
that's a really good
that's,
receiving core.
that's a good receiving
Like-
core. So
Mhm.
Cole Kmet and
Yeah.
then who did you say? Robert Tunyon? That's a great group of weapons. I mean, like they don't I mean, they have the number 1 receiver, but past that, they don't really have like a clear number 2. It's kind of just
Yeah.
like a group of really solid guys, but like there's some really good dudes. I think it's a good diverse group. DJ Moore is kind of more of a deep threat kind of dude. Same thing with Claypool, and then Mooney can be a little shifty, but at the end of the day, they're all kind of deep threat type of guys. And hopefully
They also
can
all
generate
bring
those
different
deep
things to the
runs on
table in
offense.
terms of offensive scouting looks and like just preparing for those types of schemes.
Right.
Because DJ Moore can easily take you over the top, and then you'd have to worry about Claypool, and then
Right.
Mooney just burning you. So
And think about how much more dangerous that makes
Mhm.
Justin Fields himself and his running ability. Like they're going to be able to get the looks that they want on defense or on offense just because of the fact that you can only play certain coverages just based off of the fact of how good of a scrambling quarterback Justin Fields is. And now you have to take into account that you have to have one of the best deep threats in the league. I mean, like, that's just my opinion, but I think he is one of the better deep threats in the league. He will get over the top and he can stretch the field vertically. It's just they created a lot of room on the field that they just didn't have. A lot of space vertically, and then you have to think about all the space that Justin Fields can create with his legs. So if we had to grade all of the moves that the Bears have made thus far, what do we think?
solid B plus ish.
B plus.
I'm gonna say I gotta give him an A plus. I think
We're identical.
anytime you can trade for that many picks and a great player on top of it,
Yeah.
I gotta be happy about it. I'm gonna give him an A plus, strictly because of DJ Moore first overall pick trade, and then you don't even bring into account T.J. Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. Like, come on now. Like, I think it's a clear A plus to me. I still think they do need to improve that offensive line a little bit more. Obviously, they got Nate Davis, but that's still the biggest concern. And it's actually kind of good that they traded for a receiver in this trade, because if they fall down to 9 and the defensive lineman people aren't there, there's obviously no quarterback. You have your choice at the best any offensive lineman on the board that you want. So you can hypothetically, if you draft correctly, get the best offensive lineman in the class. So if that happens, then I mean, A plus offseason.
Yeah,
A
the only
plus
reason why I'm
offseason.
holding it kind of low is the lack of the offensive line. Like, sure, they got Nate Davis, but they kind of need more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair. That is very fair. Let's see. Where do we want to go after this? Who's the next team? Chicago was first. After Chicago, we are looking at the Detroit Lions. They have made a fair amount of additions, and they did have one semi-big loss, depending on how you value him as a player. Starting with their losses, the only player they've lost, up to my knowledge, is Jamal Williams, who was really cool. He was like,
Yeah.
I think they had Hard Knocks last year, and he was like such a great personality for the team, and he was really cool. And I was hoping he'd be there for a little longer, especially after his interview in his last game as a Lion, after they beat the Packers, and he's like crying. It was like he's a really cool dude, and I wish he would have stayed in Detroit a little longer, but he's out. Then again, he's a running back, so like it is what it is. He's a running back. They still have DeAndre Swift, who's good, and they brought in David Montgomery from the Bears, so it wasn't a huge loss to me. I mean, maybe for the locker room, but like on the field,
Chemistry
shouldn't
wise,
really make too much of a difference.
Jamal Williams really picked them up because I remember watching Hard Knocks. It was like the first episode or something, and then he was just like hyping up the team's practice because they were having like a terrible practice, and then like the part at the end of the speech was, I think, if you're gonna piss like a puppy, then stay on the porch. This is where the big dogs eat. Yeah. Yeah. And then like
I don't know.
The game matters to him. He has passion for the game. He wants to be there. He's pushing his teammates, and just from a chemistry standpoint, he gave the Lions that push.
Yeah. He definitely fit, like, personality-wise, what the Detroit Lions are and what they're trying to become. This, like, hard-nosed, gritty, grinded-in-the-mud type of team. Yeah. He was just, like, he fit that. And then on the field, he was really good as well. I mean, he wasn't an elite running back. He wasn't the craziest running back, but for what they were doing and how they were utilizing him, I mean, he broke Barry Sanders' touchdown record. I know a lot of them were at the 1-yard line, and I know we got, like, 3 of them against the Giants, but, like,
yeah,
he was really solid last year. Obviously, I think it's clear up to this point he's a running back too. I don't think he's your starting back, and obviously that's probably what's going to be in New Orleans because they have Alvin Kamara. Unless is he through with that whole suspension situation? Was that a couple of years ago, or is that?
I think his next hearing is July.
Okay, so we'll see. So he might end up being running back 1 for a little bit, but for the long term of his career, to me, he's a running back too. So I think that's all I really have to say about Jamal Williams. I think he's going to be fine in New Orleans. And it does kind of suck he's not in Detroit anymore. But for Detroit, I wouldn't consider it a huge loss. I don't know if you guys feel like it's a game-breaking loss for them. As far as their additions, they brought in a couple corners in Cameron Sutton and Emmanuel Mosley. They brought in David Montgomery. And then the biggest signing they've made thus far is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson from Philadelphia. So a good safety. It's only a 1-year deal. I think it's worth about $8 million. But how are you guys feeling about these 4 moves they've made?
I really like it. I mean, like, other than the corner signings, I think they should give Okudah more playing time because I don't know if you remember this, Khalil, but in that 20 class, I was pretty high on Okudah. And then when he got injured his rookie year, and then his sophomore year, and he finally came back. Yeah. I was just hoping for nothing but the best from him, and then he started to get looked as a bust, but he was actually pretty decent, but then he wasn't living up to that. Yeah. He wasn't living up to that first round early pick hype.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of dudes who you can argue didn't meet up to expectations. For him, it wasn't even fully play. It's like you're playing the hardest position. First or second hardest position in the NFL, in my opinion. It's either corner or quarterback to me. And you're injured for your rookie year, and then you're injured again. And it's like, it's hard to adjust. Like, corner is one of those positions where you have to be on the field to really get up to game speed. Kind of like quarterback or linebacker. Like, they just ask for you to do so much that practice can only do so much, and not being able to be on the field can only do so much. I think they did a good job in getting a couple other corners who aren't the craziest great corners, but they're just good dudes to have in the rotation. And then you got C.J. Gardner-Johnson over the top, and I mean, it's a nice little defense. I think the defense they have is solid. The front 4 is cool. The corners are getting stronger, and they got a nice little safety over the top. I know C.J. Gardner-Johnson dealt with some injuries.
He's still a really good addition to their defense.
And as far as I remember, I don't think C.J. Gardner Johnson's injury was like ACL, Achilles. It wasn't anything crazy like that. I mean, like he's gonna be fine, I imagine. So,
They
I don't know if I have
re-signed
anything else to say about
Alex Anzalone.
Detroit, though.
Let go.
Hey, shout out Alex Anzalone. Oh,
You don't know who that is? He's always on my
I don't
Madden
actually know
teams
that.
in franchise.
No.
he does
Yeah.
find a way to always be on my Madden team. He's one of those dudes you only see in Madden. Like Trey Waynes. I've never seen Trey Waynes in real life. But
Mhm.
best believe he gonna get an interception or two in some Madden. Trey Waynes is a dog in Madden. The dude has zero
And then he
abilities
returns
to get
for,
to
like, at least
interception
20.
every game. It's so crazy. Yeah, Trey Waynes is a goat. Oh my god! On one of our not videos, but podcasts, we should have a little moment where we just talk about players in sports games who are just really good. Like, you can't tell me that 2K20 CJ McCollum wasn't a dog. Paul George in 2K20 was a dog. Those were guys who I was actually good with. And y'all know I am not good at 2K. Out of everyone in our first friend group, I'm probably the worst at 2K. CJ McCollum and Paul George, I can get down with. I can really get down with CJ McCollum.
Yeah, but he was also dominating your ass.
Oh my goodness. Was a Hall
Andre
of Famer,
Drummond.
2K Hall of Famer. I got 2K14, and it's so funny to go back and look at the rosters. It's just like the way we view players as years go by, it's just so funny. Andre Drummond for a long time was an all-star, putting up like the craziest double-double stats yearly. He just put up numbers. He wasn't even that good. Think about like Hassan Whiteside. Hassan Whiteside in 2K16 was like an 88 overall. Hassan Whiteside's not even in the league anymore, I don't think.
He was.
Shanghai.
China?
Where'd he go?
Yeah, Guangdong Tigers? Like, I don't know. I haven't seen him. I think he was in Utah for a little bit, but I don't know where he's at now. But back to the Lions. If we
I'm
had to grade
giving it
these
an
moves,
A.
what are we giving it?
Because I like the defensive star.
B. Cool, but not
Yeah.
crazy.
That's what I'm
They didn't
emphasizing.
lose a lot,
Like,
though.
they
That's
didn't
the thing
lose
that I do like.
much.
They didn't lose too much. Yeah.
Mhm.
They just got better, and they're already good, so. Frank, what are you giving it? All right.
I would agree with you.
Next
Good.
team, I think it's the Packers.
Chill.
I'm not too sure,
Go
but
Pack,
best believe they're not
go.
getting an A or a B. I'm going to just let you guys go, Pack, go. Yep, next team is Green Bay, and we're going to finish it off with Minnesota. As for Green Bay, they had no additions. They didn't add anyone. Not one person. They didn't get a single new person. They did Alan Lazard. They lost Jerron Reed. And this isn't
they
updated.
did. They lost
but you
him
said
March
they lost
16th.
Robert Tanyan. So, what's today? The 22nd? Okay, I don't know why it's not updated. Pretty relatively, far away. That was like a week ago. But it's just not updated on PFF yet. So, shout out PFF for not being updated.
Yeah.
Can we just get straight
Because
to the
they
chase and give
didn't
them
make
an
any
F?
additions.
Like,
They just got worse. That's it.
They got worse. Aaron Rodgers, will he, won't he? He says his intention is to go to the Jets. That was like a week ago. He's still not on the Jets. He gave them a wish list of players he wants them to go get. He's still not on the Jets.
He came out of the
Just
darkness.
go to the Jets and make it
He
happen.
didn't do that.
Yeah. He went on a little retreat. Like, dude,
wait,
just
what
go to the
list?
Jets. We know you want to be there. It reminds me of like when Anthony Davis was on the Pelicans and he was like, I want to go play with LeBron. And in every post-game interview, he'd just be like, yeah, LeBron's just a great player. Like, dude, go to LA. We get it. Go. You're good. Leave. You can leave. We don't need you in Green Bay. Yeah, I don't have too much to say about it. I don't think there's a lot to say about it. It's literally just like they didn't do anything. It's an F. You're about to lose arguably the greatest. I mean, I'd probably put Aaron Rodgers over Brett Favre at this point, but like the greatest quarterback in your team's history, the greatest player in your team's history, if we're being completely honest. And depending on what they get in the trade package for him, maybe I could be a little happier with it. I would imagine they get a pick. They got to get a pick, like a first or a second or something, but something in return. And I don't know, maybe Elijah Moore. I don't know what you really asked for from the Jets, because NFL trades are really weird in comparison to NBA trades.
Easy.
So
yeah.
I'm giving him an F. I think we all agree on that, I'd say. All right, last team, the Minnesota Vikings. Let me just pull up their losses and acquisitions. Here they are. They lost Dalvin Tomlinson, former Giant, Eric Kendrick, Adam Thielen, Cameron Dantzler, and Patrick Peterson. Those are all really big names, but I mean, not Dalvin Tomlinson, but the other 3 or 4 are pretty big for their teams. So before we dog them too much, they brought in Josh Oliver, Byron Murphy Jr., Dean Lowry, and Marcus Davenport.
I'm going to give it a C.
I'm giving it a D.
No, they got worse.
They
but
clearly got worse. Like,
yeah.
it clearly got worse. And then it's like, they didn't even get no one great. Like, they lost Patrick Peterson and Cam Dantzler,
Eric
and their
Hendricks,
defense was so trash last year.
I mean, I'm giving them a
lost
C
Eric
because they brought in
Hendricks.
Davenport, but it's like a C minus D bound.
Yeah. It wasn't crazy. I mean, was it a Packers level flop where they just didn't do anything? No. But
I think the reason
they
being is
lost
that
a lot,
they're pretty tight on
and they
cash.
didn't. Yeah, they have a lot of guys they're paying. Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, like Harrison Smith. Like, it's a lot of guys over there, so I don't blame them. I mean, they're one of those teams that's obviously going to have to lose some dudes. Any team with a highly paid quarterback over time has to lose people. I mean, even with Mahomes, I think literally the year after he got his big deal, they lost Tyreek Hill. Obviously, they're paying Patrick Mahomes, who I believe is the best quarterback to ever play football, and the other team is playing Kirk Cousins, who can't win on Thursday, Monday, or Sunday night. So, dang, I have really been on one with the jokes today. I have been killing it.
Saturday only.
I'm going to start doing stand-up. Yeah, but obviously there's a difference in quality of quarterback. We got Kirk Cousins on one side, and then we got Patrick Mahomes on the other. And clearly one team would much rather not have Kirk Cousins than they would not rather have Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to give it a D.
D minus. Yeah.
I think, Ethan, you said a C minus, borderline D. Frank, what are you giving it?
Okay. I give it a C. I mean, being a team in that position, just to where you got money wrapped up,
so
and you're not good enough to win. It's just like it's just the worst position. It's worst position to be in. I think you'd rather be.
It's terrible to be in the middle pack
for every sport, though. Like, I couldn't imagine being like how the Lakers are, or Lakers were when they had Russ, LeBron, and Anthony Davis, where it's like you're not good enough to contend, but you have 3 dudes making $30+ million. The money's all tied up. Like, yeah. I mean, at this point, we've seen there's the 2 ways to win a championship in the NFL at the moment is you winning while the quarterback is on a rookie deal, or you do what the Rams did, you do what the Dolphins are doing actively, and you just go out and trade for a bunch of dudes and you just say, screw it, we're going to just make the moves, and if it screws us over in the long run, we're going to still get a Super Bowl now. It's different for football, and I keep making basketball analogies because I just think it's really interesting to compare the two. One Super Bowl is a way bigger deal than one NBA championship. I think, like, if you win one title, depending on how you look at the Warriors this year. A lot of people are giving them a lot of flack. I mean, a lot of people gave the Rams a lot of flack because they are literally the worst defending champion. But throughout NFL history, repeats, 4 and 5 years, that doesn't happen, like, ever. I mean, the Patriots had a really good run, but even them, I don't believe they ever won 3 in a row. And I think they went back-to-back once. The Warriors went back-to-back, I believe the Heat went back-to-back, or the Spurs went back-to-back. The Lakers won 3 in a row. Mike won 6 and 8. He won 6 championships in 8 years. That doesn't happen in football, though. If you can win one.
I mean, like, teams that typically contend in the NBA tend to stay in that range for a while, especially if their players are younger, or if they can keep that core set of players. Like the Warriors, they have their core of the 3, I guess. I guess you want to call it 3, Curry, Clay, and Draymond. Who's a 4th? Poole. I mean, I mean, I
Clay
said
is
3
4.
because of that
Poole
Clay is
initial
4.
team that won the chip.
Jordan's 3.
Poole.
Kevon Looney is 3. Clay is 4. He made
Come
that
on.
very clear the last week. He is 4. 4 till the day he died. Clay is so corny. You remember
Yeah.
when he didn't make NBA 75 and he wore that 77 jersey or the 76 jersey? He is so corny, dude.
That's hilarious.
Clay.
Because what?
It's so funny. Or when, during the finals where he's like,
He
I
is,
think
it's
LeBron's
funny.
feelings got hurt. Clay, man. Clay is just, he
Nah,
really
that's
was for the
hilarious.
longest time my favorite member of the Warriors. Just because I was
No,
like,
but-
he's the humble one. Draymond talks a lot. Curry's a little entitled. Clay's chill. He don't really be talking too much. But now Clay is a dog. He was grinding it out after them injuries. He was in the trenches. Him and Ja were really
You
out
see
there
his
in the
you see his
hood
old
together,
Instagram, bro?
trying to get it out. Like,
It's hilarious.
so funny. It is so funny. Oh, it's so funny. Shout out John Morant. We'll talk about him when we get to the NBA. Last question when it comes to NFC North before we move to the NBA. If forget the draft, forget past free agency, who do you guys have winning the NFC North based off of all of the moves we saw this offseason and what we know about the teams from last year?
Lions.
I'll let you guys go first. I already have my answers, so. Okay. We're all in consensus? Detroit? They were so good last year, and then they got
Chicago,
better.
yeah.
I think they're the only team. Well, no, Chicago got better. I wish Chicago might have improved the most. It's just Chicago was starting from a way lower point than Detroit was. Detroit got, obviously, like, they were the second best, most improved team, and they were already the second best team in the division and nearly a playoff team. So I think this is Detroit's year. If Detroit grab someone good in the draft. I know they have 2 firsts, so they have a lot of potential to grab a couple dudes on rookie deals. I think Jared Goff is, kind of in that Kirk Cousins
Jared
tier
Goff is
of
pretty good.
quarterback where
I'm
they're
saying
not
he's
going to win a
better than
Super
Kirk.
Bowl. Let's just be honest.
He's better than Kirk.
Yeah, he's. I think it's just like they're the same type of quarterback. Like Jared Goff might be better than
Which
Kirk
one
Cousins,
performs,
but it's
though?
like Jared Goff doesn't do anything better. Jared Goff does. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, Jared Goff does perform. Kirk Cousins ain't. I like how Kirk Cousins is just like the benchmark for being trash or not. Like, if you're better than Kirk
Trash.
Cousins, you're like pretty solid. But if you're worse than Kirk Cousins, it's like, dang, dude, you kind of. Quarterback's worse than Kirk Cousins. It's like you need to find a new quarterback. I think, Detroit's the team to go with. I think they have a blueprint. I think Jared Goff, you might be right, he's better than Kirk Cousins in a way. I think Jared Goff does all the things that Kirk Cousins should do every game. That's the thing. Like, game the Lions had against the Packers, weeks 18, Kirk Cousins is not winning that game. He's throwing 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He's throwing 11 for 27 with 154 yards. He's going to overthrow Justin Jefferson in the end zone for a game-winning touchdown. We already know how that's going to go. In the brightest lights, Kirk Cousins doesn't show up. Jared Goff, although he didn't play great that game, he got it done. And he's good enough, I think, to win you a playoff game. Maybe 2, depending on how good the team is around him. He's not a Super Bowl winning quarterback. The team around him isn't good enough to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but he's solid enough to win you a playoff game and win you a division. We saw he went to the Super Bowl and lost to Tom Brady. And he had a great team around him that year. But like,
bro, wait, they scored 3 points that game.
Todd Gurley was back in his prime.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the score was 3-13. It was the worst score that I've watched in my life at this point. So I think he's a playoff quarterback, and I think even when he's done with Detroit, because I think he has like 1 or 2 years left with Detroit before they get like the long-term solution. I think he's found his way to a long-term successful career. I'm trying to think of a player that in the past he could kind of be like. The only dude I can think of who was kind of like a
Teddy
traveler,
Bridgewater,
who was solid in a few spots. Maybe Fitzpatrick or Teddy Bridgewater, where it's kind of like he's solid, but not going to win you anything. Carson Palmer, Andy Dalton, like just one of those dudes. He doesn't have it in him to be like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Justin Fields. He doesn't have that X factor in him, but he's steady. He does what he needs to do. He plays it the right way. So, and he was really good last year. I will say that he actually did have a resurgent season, and I was very impressed.
before we go on to NBA, what's up with your guys', or what are your guys' thoughts on Cam performing at Auburn's Pro Day?
I don't care. He's out the league. He's a scrub. The other day I was looking at Cam Newton's kids' names, and it made me really mad because they all have the stupidest names. Let me find it. I'm going to search it up. His kids have crazy names. It's so funny.
Name them.
Chosen.
Celebrities always give their kids real weird names. Yeah, okay. So his kids: Chosen, Cashmere, Caesar, Commodus, and Sovereign Dior.
Bro, you ain't even Khalil, you ain't even read the middle names, bro. It's
Caesar's
Chosen
probably
Sebastian,
the
Cashmere Saint,
Caesar,
Commodus Swain, Sovereign Dior, Cambella, Caesar Lorenzo.
Cambella. Caesar Lorenzo. When he had Caesar, he was just like, you know what? My last baby's going to be Italian. He's Caesar Lorenzo. Yeah, I bet it is fire to you, you Italian. Like, he was appealing to you. Frank Romeo Newton.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, Cam Newton is funny. I'm going to miss him, honestly, now that he's not out the league, because he did have, like, the year he had his MVP year was the year I really started getting into football when they made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stint with the Patriots was rough, and that pretty much ended it. But shout out Cam Newton. He is one of the most exciting players. He's definitely like a highlight player. Like if you want to just go watch highlights of a dude who was sick, but
he like
the greatest
Tavon Austin.
Cam Newton is one of those dudes. So, yeah, that Tavon Austin highlight reel is legendary. I think we're honestly going to be talking about that highlight reel when I have my own kids. People talk about Tavon Austin was playing before I even watched football, and I still know about the highlight reel. I know who Tavon Austin is. I know the school he played for. Like, come on now. That highlight reel might be an all-time greatest highlight reel.
Cashmere Dior.
Hey, cool. If you having kids though, what you want?
Caesar Lorenzo Mitchell. Like that's what I'm feeling at the moment. I'm gonna do one of those spin the wheels with a bunch.
If I get the same name twice, it's gonna be Manute.
Bold Mitchell. Like Bold Mitchell is my kid's name. No, I'm gonna name my kid Donovan Mitchell.
Name him Davion.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Davion with an E.
Wait, hold up. No, pick a different. No. You got you're
Demarion Mitchell.
It's a different D name.
Demarion Mitchell, like
no. Demario.
I don't know. I just know my kids' names got to sound good enough to where if they get drafted in a sport, it's got to like ring off the tongue. Like I'm not gonna name my kid Donald, where it's like with the first pick in the NBA draft, Donald Mitchell. Yeah, that's like that's a 2K generated name. Like I'm not doing that. We're gonna figure it out though. He's gonna have a nice little solid name. We're gonna figure it out. My kid's going to the league. It might not be basketball.
That's crazy.
I'm not that tall. Yeah. Yes. Go D1.
Chess club.
Chess. Yeah, no, my kid's going to the league. He's going to be a Hall of Fame kicker or a Hall of Fame point guard. It's going to be my kid versus Bronny in the finals in 2042. I'm promising it. I said it here on this podcast. NBA Finals 2042. Milwaukee Bucks. Demarion Mitchell.
Okay.
Chris Middleton Jr. and Bob Sanders versus Ronnie James, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Luka Doncic. Okay. On to the NBA.
Okay.
NBA has been really weird lately. I'll just say that. I mean, it's been a lot of teams hot, a lot of teams not. Last time we talked, I think the Celtics were the 1 seed. Now they were the 3 seed like yesterday, and now they're back to the 2 seed. So it's just, the Nuggets haven't been particularly great lately. The Wizards are like 2-8 in their last 10 after being comfortably in the play-in. I think they were like the 9 seed in the play-in. They're the 11 seed now. So it's been a lot of changes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from every team that's in the play-in / playoffs, plus the Lakers, because they're still interesting to talk about even though they're not in the play-in or playoffs. And we're going to ask our biggest question we have for that team. Go ahead, Frank.
Wait, hold up.
Yeah. You didn't do the play-in teams, did you?
Playing
yes, I did.
playoffs?
Oh, my goodness. So did you do the 7 and 8 seed?
You didn't tell me to.
So you did 1 through 6?
Bro, I didn't do any. You're fine.
No. Oh, let me check.
Yes, I did. I said playoffs.
You never said play-in.
8 teams in the East.
I did 8 teams for the
You're
West.
just like, nah, I don't care about the West and the Eastern Conference. The
16
Eastern
teams.
Conference is whack. We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
I thought we were starting in the East.
Now he's
Let's
about
go
to
East.
Go.
Hey,
are we starting in the East
I'll
or
make
the
it work.
West?
I'm good. I'm good. I'll make it work.
Bottom up.
East top or East
I'm
bottom?
The East.
Bottom up. Okay. Let's see. Let me get my phone out. Bottom team in the East, I believe, is the Chicago Bulls. I think the question I had for them is, can their defense stay as good as it's been post All-Star break? I mean, I don't have too much to say about a lot of the bottom teams of the East. I think at the moment they have like a top 5 defense for the last however so long it was. I saw it on Kenny's channel. Shout out him. But I mean, if their defense can stay as good as it is, they might not lose in 4. They might lose in 5. So shout out the Bulls, I guess. I don't know. Oh, shout out Lonzo Ball. I do hope he gets better.
Yeah. I was like, shout out him. Why? He's not going to be playing
on the
this
court.
season.
He's like he hasn't played good. Like
Or next. Oh, there's a video on YouTube. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it was by Mike Korzimba, and he called Lonzo Ball
That's
Steph
insane.
Curry with a 40-inch vertical coming out of the draft. It was so crazy. Steph Curry with a 40-inch vertical is the greatest player of all time.
I think I've heard of that. That's
imagine if I called Victor Oladipo LeBron with Ray Allen shooting. Like, that's so insane to say. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I was just reaching. I was trying to make a comparison. It wasn't a good one. What do you guys got for Chicago?
Well, injuries stopped them
Clearly.
from
My
advancing.
co-hosts aren't prepared.
Okay,
Good
but like,
question.
can
Good
they stay
question.
healthy?
I don't know.
Say.
Will it? Like, yeah. Zach LaVine has an injury history too. I mean, he's not the healthiest.
LaVine, Caruso, DeMar. It's just it comes down to their availability on how far they'll make it into this playoff run. Yeah.
Vucevic. Well, I mean, Vucevic just be around. He just don't really be on. Put up 12 points and 7 rebounds. Just don't really do nothing. Frank, what you got? What's your question for Chicago? Please enlighten me.
No, I think it's important to like. I think we know they're not going to make any noise in the playoffs. Yeah. It's just not going to happen. I think it's important to kind of see what they're going to do in the offseason.
Right.
You know,
at this point, like,
you know, what are you going to do? I think you should be selling.
Lonzo's not going to be back. Zach LaVine is an injury-prone, all-star, like kind of all-star caliber guy. DeMar is obviously really good, and he's the best player on the team, but he's 33, I think, and he's on the last year of his deal. Vucevic is just Vucevic. He's not really anything special. Like, this is a really trash core, to be honest.
But just right. But just like the Vikings, you know, they
great
don't have
NFL
picks,
analysis.
And they can't.
Right
they're
there,
not allowed to be
that
trash,
was
so
inspiring.
That
was.
All right, look. No, but I think, Ethan, your question was very appropriate. The injuries is really what it was. You know, Lonzo. You should see how they were when Lonzo was with them and they had a full, complete team. It was really good. So it's just really unfortunate.
I mean, it's definitely going to come down to health. But I mean,
it goes well for them.
Even if they are healthy, let's just say, for the sake of conversation, Lonzo Ball is on the team. If they play the first round, are they losing by 4, 5, or 6? Because
they're winning
not
the championship.
They're still losing 4. Give the Bulls prime Michael Jordan. I still think they're losing 4. I don't care. I'm sorry. That was. They're losing in 6. Giannis in 6.
Oh, stop it.
Nah, MJ ain't never seen the Greek Freak.
They sweep every team.
MJ gonna play Giannis in the first round, and then the second round have to play Julius Randle. He hasn't seen comp like that ever.
That's true.
He hasn't seen that. They would Julius Randle, prime Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson. Just wait till R.J. Barrett gets that Michael Jordan matchup. It's over. Josh Hart, Knicks is scary. Jericho Sims, dunk contest legend.
Josh Hart, I forgot about him. All right.
I just said, can we see some consistency? They're so crazy inconsistent that I don't know. I don't think they've been on a win streak longer than like 2 games. Like it's always like they win a couple, then they lose a couple. And you need some consistency in the playoffs because even in the play-in, you got to win for where they are. They have to win multiple games to get in, and if they're not consistent, they can't do that. So that's my question. It's pretty basic. Nothing. We can skip them. It's not a lot. We can get through these bottom teams really quick. For the Hawks, I just said, is it too late to adjust to a new coach? Obviously, they fired Nate McMillan. They got Quinn Snyder. Again, it's just another team that if they make the playoffs, they're going to lose in 4 or 5. So I think that's a good question. I also want to see, in a playoff sense, like how this Trae Young, DeJounte Murray duo looks. For Miami, I don't know if either of you guys did Miami because I think they're the 8th seed. I say they can defend, but can they score? I feel like the offense is really poor at times, but it's really like their defense that carries them at this point.
Right, that's also a good point. What I put was, how much can playoff Jimmy elevate?
They might lose in 6, maybe 7, but like,
right? Because,
oh yeah, great play.
I mean, he's notorious for turning up, right? I think.
No.
I think whoever Miami's
if you're the
playing,
top 3 seeds, the one team down there who you don't want to play is Miami.
I don't think you sweep.
Even I'm sure the Sixers are beating Miami. I'm sure the Celtics are beating Miami, and I'm sure the Bucks are beating Miami. It's just it's unnecessarily difficult to beat Miami. They're going to take it to 6,
right?
Even though they're not even that good. It's just they always find a way to take it to 6. Jimmy's going to have a 45-point game. Bam's going to be Bam. Tyler Hero's going to have a nice little game. Kyle Lowry's going to all of a sudden just start being good again. Victor Oladipo's going to go back to prime Pacers Victor Oladipo. And Kevin Love's going to turn into Timberwolves Kevin Love. So that's just how the Heat are. Playoffs, you don't want to play Miami. But best believe they're not that good. Oh, yeah. Someone might get a little banged up. No one's going to get injured. No one might get injured, but like Embiid, if Embiid hits Bam Adebayo in the post and then all of a sudden his hip's kind of a little sore and then James Harden's hamstring ain't feeling too great. Then you're going into game 1 against Milwaukee. You got Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey taking on Giannis. So you just got to be a little careful. You don't want to play Miami. I promise you don't want to play Miami. Ethan, you have a question for Miami or no? Good question. I don't know. Miami can score.
Yeah, their spacing is
regular
very bad.
Season Jimmy is just like a crazy bad 3-point shooter. Like it's, I still think about that every time he comes up on the podcast. That time we were looking at his stats and he was like 20% from 3 on 2 attempts a game. He was making half a 3 a game. Like, oh, Jimmy Butler is so irritating. I remember one time on Prize Picks, I took his over half a 3 made, and he just didn't make a 3. And I was so irritated. I was like, 1 3? You couldn't do it? Take the most shots on the team. Make one. It's 2023, not 1993. Take 3s. That's what everyone does. I have the Nets next up. I said, is McCall Bridges a number 1, like a playoff number 1? I think he's been really good. I think he's averaging 26 for the Nets. But going from being the 3rd option to then being in the playoffs as the number 1 option where teams are game planning against your offense specifically, I'm not sure if he can really handle all that. I think he's a playoff 2 maybe or a playoff 3. But unless he shows me otherwise, maybe he is a playoff 1. But that's something I would like to have answered.
I could agree with that for sure. I pretty much had the same question, just kind of revolved around him. But I just want to point out, Ethan, he was part of your underrated team, right? And I think he was underrated for sure. Just kind of being like not like he's not in the spotlight when he was in Phoenix.
Depending on how you feel about DeAndre Ayton, it really depends.
Right? Some people thought he was more like a 3rd option, which, right, exactly, right. So I think he's still just be like a 3rd.
You know who he really like reminds me of? Like if all things work out for him, I think he can be like Chris Middleton. I think like that's a realistic role for him. Even offensively, they have similar games. It's really like smooth, mid-range based, really efficient, really like calm and collected, play at your own pace. And they're very good on the defensive side of the ball. So I think a Chris Middleton type of role for McCall Bridges is cool. I think he's a lot closer to Chris Middleton than he is to like Jaylen Brown, though. Like I think he's a number 2. Yeah, than offense.
Oh, yeah.
Although the offense is really good, and it's something I am happy that we got to see in Brooklyn. Because who knows, if he stays in Phoenix, I don't know if we ever get to see how good McCall Bridges is actually. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. McCall Bridges is solid. He's cool. He's like a very high quality. When he was in Phoenix, he was like a really high quality role player at that point. And I mean, now we know he's more than a role player. Do we feel like McCall Bridges has All Star potential? All Star starter potential. Okay. All Star though.
I-
All Star reserve maybe.
Oh no. I think it'd be an all-star. Yeah, if we're talking like the Nets, all-star reserve. The Nets are a bit higher than people expect. Let's just say because they have a good team. So let's just say they have a similar team.
It's kind of like
year.
a Pascal Siakam, Zach LaVine, Fred
and
VanVleet
maybe they'll get one all-star.
Not like
he's playing real good.
Giannis, Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell kind of guy. It's like he made the All-Star team, but it's like it's just because they need to fill spots and he's solid on a okay team.
Yeah, no.
Like Trae Young, how people wanted Trae Young to be an All-Star this year. That's how I can see McCall Bridges being next year. Even though Trae Young didn't deserve to be an All-Star, and I'm glad he did make All-Star. I'm a Trae Young hater. My bad.
Whoa. So,
not in the playoffs. They don't even play him in the regular season. But
ooh, that's a good one.
I don't know.
I like that.
I wish they did. He's really good. He still doesn't play. I thought with Kyrie and KD leaving, they give Cam Thomas some more minutes. Yeah. He plays like 3 games and then he just doesn't.
They did a little bit.
And it's really
He's
good.
having some incredible
He's
games.
good, and it's just hard for any player to get some consistency and build their game when they're only playing ever so often. So, yeah, he was like, "Wait, we got a tank, even though we don't have our pick, guys."
They're winning too much.
Ben's a bum. I'm so sick of Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is a
what's
scrub.
Going on with Ben though?
People were calling him the next LeBron. Now he doesn't even play. He was averaging 8 points a game. This is sick. He's on a max deal. The Sixers traded him for James Harden. That's
Man, I'm looking at his jersey right now. I'm on my wall. He used to be my favorite player, bro. It's so sad. He was my favorite player, but I can't watch him anymore. Like I just can't watch him. He doesn't do it. He's not the same dude. So like
he's a shell of him.
I don't want to say like
self.
Joel's my guy now.
He just doesn't seem confident. He doesn't seem
know.
like he really likes playing basketball at this point. And I don't know if he's ever going to get back to All-Star Ben Simmons. And even if I don't know what happened to Ben Simmons. He doesn't shoot the ball anymore. Like, not even like, it used to be he doesn't shoot threes. Now it's just he doesn't like to shoot the ball at all. He doesn't want the ball in his hands. And it's like, he can't play without the ball in his hands just because he can't shoot. And I don't know what you do with Ben Simmons. I really think if he doesn't get it together next season, I don't want to say it's the end of his career because he is a young dude and he's a talented guy. But as far as his career as a starting player in the NBA, I don't know. I think even as a role player, if you have Ben Simmons and you just change his expectations to like, we just need you to come off the bench and just be solid. Just the way he moves on the court, it doesn't seem like he can do that either. So I'm not really sure if I believe in him going forward. I think he's really good. I think he's really versatile, all NBA level defender. He was an all-star for a couple years. Offensively, he was really good. I mean, he just didn't shoot the ball. So as good as you can be without shooting the ball, he was that. So he's just only going to go to the rim. And even then, he's like, I don't know. My layup meter might mess up, so I'm not going to take it. So, yeah. When you're at your dad's and you're on hotspot. So, Knicks. You guys have questions for the Knicks? He's winging it. He's winging
You got a
it.
question for the Knicks? No.
Good.
Okay. Wait, what? What do you say? He's winging it? Oh.
That's
Okay.
the same
I
question.
got a question for the
I'm
Knicks.
not gonna lie.
Can RJ be more than mediocre? Or not? Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Because, I mean, Randall had
That was
57 the other day.
shocking to me.
I saw that stat, and I was like, oh my god.
That
he
was
had
shocking to me.
57? And my bad. Last
Julius Randle, 57 points.
you say what?
Insane. Yeah.
Right, because on the last episode, I was talking bad about the Knicks and Julius Randle.
Jabari Smith was on my
Kind of
post, and
slandering
Julius
him.
Randle must have watched the podcast.
He must have watched the podcast or something.
NBA players are tuning
'Cause
in.
He had that 57-point game. Right. But you have Randall's. I think he's definitely proven himself.
I was skeptical, but he's back to being like all-star Julius Randle.
I was talking bullshit the other episode anyway. Right, and he was an all-star, so he deserves that. And you have Brunson, your number 2 guy, and then but RJ isn't what everyone thought.
Here's the thing, like defensively in the playoffs, they're gonna obviously key in on
so that's why
Julius Randle, which I think he'll be able to operate a little better than he did, last time he was in the playoffs against Atlanta, because he has that playoff experience, and he also has a way better point guard this year around than he did then. Jalen Brunson is the best point guard the Knicks have had, I think, in my whole life. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think the Knicks have had a better point guard than Jalen Brunson is right now in my life that I can recall. Maybe Walt Frazier, he was solid back in the 70s, but
yeah, your life, yeah.
Alfred Payton was tough for a few years.
Right,
they had Jeremy
right.
Lin for a few games, Ethan. Shout out you.
Alfred Payton.
Shout out you, Ethan.
Jeremy Lin. Oh.
Yeah, but they have those two guys, but obviously they're going to key in on those two guys. And depending on the matchup, there's going to be, good defensive personnel for both. If they play Cleveland in the paint, you got, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. Then you also have Isaac Okoro, who's a good defender. I mean, Darius Garland is Swiss cheese defensively. And Donovan Mitchell he's a solid defender, but not a great defender. He could be much better. But then, if Jalen Brunson is doing all he can, and Julius Randle is doing all he can, the third guy you're looking at is RJ Barrett. And RJ's got to just make the right plays. I'm not asking RJ to drop 40, 50, 30, not even 20. If you can give me a smooth 15, but you make timely plays and make timely baskets and hit the open shots they need you to, then you're good. But it's just a lot of the time they don't even end up playing him in late game scenarios. Just because he's such a liability on both sides, it feels like. Who doesn't make the shots? He doesn't make the shots. He takes bad shots.
Right. Shot chucker. Yeah. But you know who does make shots?
Yeah.
Evan Fournier. I was watching a game. He's like the end of the bench. He barely plays, But I was watching this. I think the one game I was watching, I think he was playing the Sixers. Of course he was. And he hit like 4 threes in a row all of a sudden, in the fourth quarter. He never plays. They're like, oh my goodness, Evan Fournier. And he never plays. He never plays. And I'm like, why don't they play him more? And so I'm like, well, so why don't they play him more? I think, I
that's
think
Tom Thibodeau, though. He plays his guys. He plays the guys who are good. Julius Randle is going to play 45
probably not going to, unfortunately. But
Tom Thibodeau don't care about rest. Just play him on the court.
That's true. So I hope. Right. I think. Who? Oh. Play him what?
Yeah.
10 minutes. Get him a
couple
couple shots.
Couple three pointers. To become a starter, but geez, he can play a little.
Take his ass out right away.
Still. Even though his contract is horrible.
Take a chance.
They didn't watch the Cleveland games. Oh, the FIBA games. I thought you said Cleveland.
No,
yeah, FIBA legend. France is insane in FIBA. Oh my god, and they're gonna get Victor. Oh my goodness, Victor, Rudy, Evan Fournier, and Patrick. No, he's Australian.
He's not even.
He's another French dude. I'll think of someone. I already said go play. Ben Simmons is gonna switch from Australia to France. Like,
Benjamin
what?
Simmons.
I can't do this. Yeah. Who else is French?
Oh, sorry. Wait.
No,
you
I said
you
French.
Said people that were Australian.
I said Patrick Mills is Australian. Because I said he was French, but he's Australian.
You said French?
Ah,
Oh,
Killian
okay,
Hayes. Killian Hayes. I didn't know he was French. I thought he was just trash. I'm not gonna lie.
Killian Hayes is French. That's right. He had my favorite fit. I looked at Killian Hayes' Instagram page before he got drafted, and I was like, dang, this dude looks good. He has a suit on. He's looking all French. I'm like,
Airball.
He's gonna be good. And then he gets into the league.
That's so crazy. Unfollowing a player because they're so bad is so crazy to me.
I unfollow his Instagram.
I don't think I've ever unfollowed someone because they ended up being trash. I can't think of somebody who I've unfollowed.
Yeah, well,
Frank was just
okay.
like,
Well, first of all, he was wearing the suit. He looked good. He looked confident, and then he played, and it's like he looks all, you don't look your mentality.
You knew he was better than that. You were just trying to.
Your mentality wasn't the same when I was watching you when I was seeing you in a suit. So I can't see the same way.
Killian Hayes. That's crazy that we're even talking about him in a conversation about playoffs.
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Anyway,
I put can the bench perform when needed, just because I know that Donovan Mitchell is a great playoff performer. I think Darius Garland will be fine in the playoffs. I think Allen Mobley will be good. Isaac Okoro has actually been shooting the three ball a lot better throughout the season. But Karis LeVert has been cold for most of the year. I mean, he started off really well, and it's not been the same. And they're asking like Cedi Osman and Ricky Rubio and those guys to really play meaningful minutes. So I just want to see if they can do. Did you just have his stats up? No, Cedi Osman is solid, but in the playoffs, I don't know. I just need to see them. Yeah, but Cedi Osman is solid. I think he's from Turkey, so shout out him. Like Deni Avdija, I think Deni Avdija is also from Turkey. Yeah,
so was
bruh, he trash. He is a 2K All-Star. He got like 24 badges, so he ain't been in the league for a year and a half. Take his badges.
Hey, but
no, not at all. I can't believe he was on the Thunder. I'm so sick that he was on the Thunder. You know, at one point, the Thunder were playing lineups with Russell Westbrook, Andre Roberson, Kevin Durant, Enes Kanter, and Steven Adams. 4 of those guys can't shoot threes. Kevin Durant is the only one who can shoot a three. And then we were so confused why Kevin Durant left to go play with Steph Curry and Clay. Shoot, I wouldn't want to play with Steven Adams and Enes Kanter. Maybe I'm not mad at Kevin Durant. He made the right move. That's not the softest move in league history. Russ was... Yeah, I mean, there wasn't really anywhere else for him to go that year. I mean, maybe San Antonio. That would have been kind of cool. Him and Kawhi with Tim Duncan and all those dudes. But Golden State was clearly the best option. Let's be real. Nah, he wanted to prove that he can win on his own. So he went to Brooklyn and lost on his own. And then he went to Phoenix. So he came out on his own.
10 more championships.
Yeah, he stopped grinding, and then he was like, you know what? I want to go back to grinding now. So
he wants to be like Dame.
Philadelphia. Can Harden and Embiid keep it up? That's my only question. You guys have the 2 guys in the league who have like 2 of the worst playoff like track records. For Embiid, it's not like he plays bad. It's just his body kind of wears down, and Harden doesn't play great. So I just want to see it in the playoffs. That's my thing for them. Not a huge question. So yeah, let's stay healthy. Yeah.
I actually wrote exactly what you said. Can Harden stay consistent? Well, no, that's not the same thing, but pretty much the same thing. Like, then I think we can't have any stinkers from Harden in the playoffs because he had like 10 points the other day, like terrible. That cannot happen in the playoffs. It cannot, or we're gonna lose. I think for us to win, that's disappointing. But anyway, Joel has been playing incredible recently.
Yeah,
like incredible.
all that.
MVP caliber. So he's gonna win it. He's gonna win it.
I'm pretty
But-
confident in
But
Embiid
I
at
don't,
this
I don't
point as
see
far as
him
playing.
having a
I think
problem
he's
in the
gonna be fine.
playoffs.
It's
Honestly, I
just
don't think he is. But I think Harden's
health.
just the one to
Can
worry
Embiid
about.
stay healthy? I think he can. Will he? We'll see. Harden,
Right.
I'm a little more skeptical of, just because I think there's going to be times in the playoffs where you don't need 20 points, 10 assists, James
I
Harden.
think he can.
You need 35 points, Harden.
Harden.
And it's sometimes there are games where he doesn't know when to switch out of that, secondary star role and into that,
That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
still James Harden, But you guys have Tyrese Maxey. Tobias Harris has been really good this year. It's just his contract that makes him look trash. Like, if he was on a regular fourth option contract, like maybe 10, 11, 12 a year.
Right.
Oh, yeah. 30 million a year, though, for Tobias Harris? Yeah, no, that's crazy.
He get a payday next year. He'd leave.
I'm not rocking with that contract. I said, is Joe Mazzulla a playoff coach? I don't know if he is. They've been on a slide lately due to some choked leads and stuff. And when it's playoff time and you're going against a good coach across from you, or in basketball the coaches aren't across from each other, but next to you, you got to make those adjustments. And I don't know if he can do that yet. It's another situation where it's I just have to see it in the playoffs. He has been saying some really weird stuff lately. Am I mad? No, I don't like Celtics fans. I don't like the Celtics. So if they lose Jaylen Brown, hey, come to Oklahoma City. We got 10 first-round picks. And you can have Trey Mann. That's what I'll give y'all. Trey Mann and 10 firsts. No. I'm not giving up. No.
And Chet.
No, I'm keeping J. Will.
Y'all can take Chet.
And J Dub. I'm keeping them both. Aaron Wiggins, maybe.
For Celtics, I just said Aaron Wiggins. No, I was saying, can they shoot consistently? Because they're one of the best 3-point shooters, 3-point percentages in the league. But I think you just gotta keep that up and not have any stinker games, because that's how you lose, really.
Like Houston.
Teams that usually have the 3-point shooting going and then they just lose it. They lose the game. They just because it's worth so much. Yeah. And when you miss,
one of the most rosters in the league,
you lose. But otherwise, I wouldn't say they have too many weaknesses besides it, because they're good. Right. Good offense, good defense, good rebounding. Even for the good depth, even for the size, though, they have pretty good rebounding. They're young, they're fast, they're.
I think the Joe Mazzulla thing is the biggest thing.
It's kind of hard.
A rookie head coach is kind of a little skeptical. He does have a very good team around him, so it's not like he's given a trash team where coaching is going to be the end all be all. But it's important. I know a couple years ago there was a series between the Lucas and the Clippers, the Mavericks and the Clippers. They feel like the Lucas, where it was. I don't remember if Jason Kidd was the coach of the Mavericks at the time, but it was Tyronn Lue. And Tyronn Lue, he makes playoff adjustments, man. I remember the Mavericks were killing them, so they went small ball, and it was just it was a chess match from game 1 to game 6 or whatever it went to. And I just don't know if Joe Mazzulla is going to be able to do that, or if he's just going to, put his best players on the floor, even if it's not working and they're getting beat. I don't know if he's willing to, in the closing minutes of a game, take out Al Horford and maybe play Grant Williams if that's what's needed, or take out Robert Williams and put in Mike Muscala if that's what's needed at that time. So I don't know if he can do that. It's pretty nitpicky, but
I have a feeling. I agree with you and all that, but I'm just gonna say this. This is not really related to what you're saying, but just
say that again. Who?
I think
Horford's
gonna play a lot more. I feel like they're gonna need.
I thought you said Korver. I was like, Korver is not in the league.
I think he's gonna Horford's gonna play.
They signed him.
The minutes near the end of the game. Yeah, Kyle Korver. You don't know.
Shout out Kyle Korver. Just another irrelevant player who's gotten shouted out on the podcast.
They signed him.
Killian Hayes, Kyle
he's
Korver.
43 years old.
Shoot, I was talking about Carson Palmer earlier. That was kind of crazy. Had a lot of guys on the podcast. Hopefully we can get an interview for one of those dudes. When they're out of the league, Like when Killian Hayes is inevitably out of the league in the next 2 years, maybe he'll want to hop on the podcast. Before his rookie deal expires, maybe he'll want to hop on the pod. He won't have anything better to do. He might not even make it in France.
2 years is crazy.
He's gonna be on the end of the bench in Syria. He's gonna be on a 4-day contract in India by the end of our high school season. Like breaking news: Killian Hayes signs with the Guangdong Tigers on a 1-year, $2 contract. Mine was just Chris Middleton. Like, is Chris Middleton like fully back or not? That's pretty much it. I think the questions are much better in the West. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Ethan.
Yeah, I just put.
No, I mean I could say they are. They probably are. They have 3 Defensive Player of the Year level players. They have a lot of depth.
Close to the most complete team.
They have Chris Middleton.
Not the most complete team, but
1 seed. I think I did as well. I think I said right. I said the Celtics were going to be the 2 seed because
exactly where I predicted them.
the loss of Ime Udoka, and then they ended up being the 1 seed for most of the year.
going to
But
the
they choked, so I was right. I knew it the whole time. I knew they were going to be the 1 seed for most of the year, and they were just going to fall off last second. I knew it. It was just I already knew. I knew Grant Williams was going to miss those 2 free throws, so I knew it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that. Ethan, do you agree with the Chris Middleton question? Okay. Moving out to the West, are we starting from the bottom again? Okay, for the West, I know they're not a playoff or a play-in team, but I think it's interesting to talk about the Lakers just because they do have LeBron and they have Anthony Davis and all those guys. My question for the Lakers is, hypothetically, if they even make the play-in, and say they hypothetically even win in the play-in, and let's say they hypothetically even make the playoffs, and let's just say hypothetically they're able to win more than 1 round or a couple games, can LeBron and Anthony Davis handle a playoff schedule? Because for the playoffs in basketball, especially in the early rounds, you play a game, you're off 1 day, you play another game, you're off 1 day, you play another game. And the day you're off between that second game and that third game, you're traveling. It's just a lot. That playoff schedule is intense, especially in the first round. Obviously, when you get later on, you get a little bit more time between games. But, like, geez, playoff schedule is rough. So that's my biggest question. I mean, as far as on-the-court stuff, the Lakers showed me all they need to show me. I think they're actually a good team when everyone's healthy. It's just they got good too late, and LeBron's unhealthy, and Anthony Davis is unhealthy. So I think he's real. He's real. He has an hour-long highlight reel on YouTube. I don't got no hour-long highlight reel on YouTube. True. It's an hour and 23 minutes long. Yeah.
Shoot, this is our highlight reel. It's already an hour and 23 minutes. Yeah. I just said Lakers. Can AD stay healthy? Can AD be healthy? Because you were talking about pretty much. You've seen what the Lakers can do
really
when they're healthy with this new team that they have since the trade deadline. It looked pretty good. Right. Yeah. So you just gotta see the health.
Depends on who they play. Let's see. Let me look at who's in the plan.
You make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Or you definitely
so depending on who they play in the play-in, I mean, yeah.
They're not even in the play-in though. So
they are. What's the score?
They might just be out of luck.
Is AD playing?
I mean, they're beating the Suns right now.
Oh, is he playing good?
It's 53-46. AD is playing. He's back.
What's he shooting?
Okay. He has 6 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal.
Those are decent numbers. Those
50%
are okay.
from the field.
I mean, he's on the court. He's on the court. He's on the court. He's on the court. Let's not ask too much from Anthony Davis now.
No. That's ass. That's terrible. That means no.
Oh yeah, he would get clowned.
There'd
be a live on or like a Twitter
group
talking about Anthony Davis is not the truth. We need to trade Anthony Davis, guys.
That's ass.
Good. I wanted the Mavericks to lose because they're in the play-in race.
I
with
wasn't able to
the
watch the
Thunder.
Golden
So.
State Mavericks game, but it was a close game. Golden State won by 2.
Oh well, like I said in the beginning, we're the 7th seed. We'll get to them after we talk about these 3 trash teams before the Thunder. We'll get to the Thunder.
The Thunder.
Oh yeah, no, wrong year, different team.
Oh,
All NBA Shea, Rookie of the Year J.
I thought the Thunder were like the 15th seed.
Charge leader. You know who the leader is and charges drawn is in the NBA?
Okay.
Jalen Williams, and he's in Oklahoma City. Just
Oh
thought
my God.
I'd share that information. He's pretty solid if you weren't aware. Out of Arkansas, Razorback.
No.
NBA player by day, TikToker by night. Yes.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
Really?
So funny.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
Hey, real quick.
Who
Though,
who played 16
the
minutes?
Sixers beat the
Oh,
Chicago.
brother.
But Joel only played 16 minutes. That means he's injured.
Oh no.
Joel.
Let me search Embiid's name before we go on.
He
just in
had
case
only
something
12
happens.
points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Steal.
What happened to
Still
Joel
won
Embiid
6
on Sports Illustrated? Why didn't Joel
D'Anthony
Embiid
Melton
return
was
to
our
the court
leading
on
scorer with
Wednesday?
25 points.
Mild right calf tightness. He was like, we whooping him. We're whooping him. Take me up the game.
Oh,
James,
Titus?
Tobias,
then he doesn't
Tyrese,
wanna play.
you got it.
They're probably winning. They're probably just winning already. Nah, we fine.
Oh,
we
shoot.
fine.
Tyrese, you got it. Furkman Korkmaz,
James didn't play because he got some.
remember when Furkman Korkmaz requested a trade?
He's a
And he just didn't get traded?
D'Anthony
Oh, that was
Melton
funny.
guy.
So next team in the West, Utah Jazz.
Yeah,
I just said, is Larry Markkinen like
Yeah.
ready for playoff kind of defense, like
That was
where he's the
funny.
number one option?
Uh,
Kind of like the McCall Bridges question, just for Larry Markkinen. And for Larry Markkinen, it's a little more intense because I don't think he's ever played in the playoffs. Actually, McCall was in the playoffs; he just wasn't the number one. So, yeah, so he's a rookie. Yeah, he was solid. He just was never all star. He was
no.
like just a solid little.
But he played pretty good
Yeah.
when he was second year? Or was it a rookie?
I think that's a fair question. I don't think there's a
It's
lot of
solid.
other questions you can really ask about the Jazz. The Jazz.
Right, but he was worse in between, is what I'm saying. But yeah, you're right, though. Yeah,
Timberwolves.
the Jazz. They are.
I said, will the
They
late
are,
addition of Karl Anthony
like
Towns
one
help or
team
hurt
with
the
1 point
Timberwolves?
for the league.
Karl Anthony Towns was hurt since November, and he just came back today. Right. The duo with Gobert and Towns was really interesting to me, and it was one where I felt like they needed to play together to really figure it out. Frank, I know you had some scores up. If you can figure out or pull up the score of the Timberwolves Hawks game, I don't know what won. Yes. So that makes the Timberwolves 10-10 because I pulled the stat up earlier. Before today, the
won by
Timberwolves
1
were
point.
9-10 with both
125
Karl
to
Anthony Towns
124.
and Rudy Gobert playing. So that puts them at an even 500. And they won by 1 point against the Atlanta Hawks. So how did Gobert play?
Towns played.
How did he shoot?
Decent. He had 22, 4 and 3, two
That's
two
a big,
steals.
that's kind of trash. I'm
Gobert,
not gonna lie.
12.
It was just
50%. But Towns 8 for 18. But he
right.
did shoot
I'll
2
give him a
for
break.
2 for.
For him being out for
2
months, for him to come
for
back and play that good
3.
is actually pretty surprising. I thought it was going to
So
take him some
it's
time.
okay. I mean, that's a decent.
We'll see if he can do it
first back.
consistently. It was also the Boo Boo Hawks. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trigger Trey. Ice Trey.
Right. The Boo Boo Hawks. Yeah. Trigger Trey had
How did DeJounte play? Like,
Ice Trey 29
Dang.
points, 6 for 16. That's even worse.
oh. Dang,
All right,
so
let's,
they beat the Hawks by 1 with just Trey Young?
DeJounte, I don't think he played. No, yeah, he didn't play. Oh, yeah. Just Trey Young and who else scored for the Hawks? It was a team effort. Hunter had 16. Colin had 16. Capella had 10. Bogdanovich
Time
had
to
10.
lose at 4.
Okongwu had 14. Sadiq
Bucks
Bey.
and 4.
Sadiq Bey had 16 off the bench.
Bucks and 4. Bucks in
16, 6,
4,
and 2.
guys.
4
1,
for 7
2,
from 3.
3, 4. Okay.
Y'all underrated him.
Yeah. Bucks and 4. That's going to be my response to anything. Mavericks. I think can Luka and Kyrie score more points than they give up? They might. I think Luka and Kyrie are one of the few duos in the league that I think on any given night can combine for like 80 to 90 points. And I know 90 is a lot of points, but that's just 50 for one dude and 40 for the other, or however you want to split it. And I think that can happen with Kyrie and Luka on any given night. But on the same given night, Kyrie and Luka might give up 120 points. So it's not a lot of defense out there in Dallas. And it's not just them. I'm not trying to pick on them, but they're clearly the worst, one of the worst defensive backcourts in the league. Let's be real. Like, they've been bad. I mean, you said they lost today. How did Steph play today? Steph didn't play?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Oh, okay. So Luka was clamping. Luka was locking in.
Did not play
I
that
guess.
good. He played.
Yeah.
He didn't play that good.
He was playing
He had like 20
better.
points.
Terrible. Like, not very good.
Oh. Well, but they still lost. So they still lost to a Warriors team.
Who was scoring then? Who was he passing it to? I know it wasn't Draymond. Was it Clay?
Yeah, like Curry had
What did Clay have?
20 points and 13 assists, though.
Bro, he had 5 more than he had 4. Oh my goodness.
It was
Clay
a
had
good effort.
4 at halftime.
Team
This
attempts
is
of
so
14.
insane.
Clay had 9 points.
What did he shoot
Clay.
for me? Yeah. What? Just what?
Clay? He was 1 for 4.
Shot 4? I
One,
made
2,
1.
4.
Okay, shout out Jonathan Kuminga. Draymond player now. Draymond player now.
Kuminga had 22 and Poole had 16 off the bench.
Oh, okay.
So that's some. When Kuminga had,
From
Draymond
3?
had 14.
Oh my goodness!
Wait, let me see
Not
more
the
threes
4.
than Clay.
He was worried about the wrong 4.
Draymond had the same percentage as Clay. 1 for 4.
Dang, they all shooting 4. Oh my goodness!
Oh, but
That's
Poole
so
was
funny to me.
0.
Anything on the Mavericks? You guys have any other questions for Dallas? What's yours?
That's hilarious. I do. I think I knew someone would say something about Kyrie and I would say Kyrie and KD, Kyrie and Luka. So I was just gonna say
someone's gonna have to have a good game. Tim Hardaway Jr.
when kicked out too consistently make their shots, like Reggie Bullock and whoever else is on their team.
You got to get a good game from Christian Wood. Like, there's got to that third guy is so important for the Mavericks.
You gotta make a shot from
don't know
you can't just
who
beat them
it
too.
is. I think for most,
you gotta get points from somewhere.
I think for most other teams, you know who the 3 is. It's just like you don't really expect if they're gonna like perform.
You don't know who it is, right? Right. I think it could be anybody because Reggie Bullock can pull up with 25. Christian Wood can get 25.
Yeah, good question. I don't know if Kyrie's even going to go
but
back to the
they're not
Mavericks.
gonna
I don't
do it
know. It's just so
every
hard
night.
to
It's
say.
just like one
I
person.
hope he does, just because I do like the duo. It's just they don't have the personnel to have that duo. So it's not their year by far. They've gotten worse since they've gotten Kyrie. They've scored more. They just have allowed more. So it's kind of what we expected,
Okay.
Thunder. Let me have my moment, y'all. Let me have my moment. Give me a second. I wake up today. I go to my government class. We weren't doing nothing in government, so I was like, let me hop on YouTube. Every NBA YouTuber I follow, guess who they're talking about?
Excuse me.
The Thunder. Kenny made a video about the Thunder. Yeah, Kenny, who was on Stephen A. Smith's podcast. Out of all the teams he could have talked
You're
about.
a bad student, Khalil.
He could have talked about the Bulls beating your trash Sixers. But no. On this day, he chose to talk about the Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is All-NBA. I know we both gave him some flack when he said Shai was going to be a top 3 guard this year, but he actually has been a top 3 guard this year. Yeah, and you could argue he's been better than Steph this year just because Steph was hurt for a large part of the year. So Shea's been great. We have the second best rookie in the class in J Dub. We haven't. Who's the second best rookie in the class? Get that out of my face. No, he's not. He's trash. He's a scrub. He plays in Indiana. Indiana's not in the playoffs. I don't care. What seed is Indiana? I'm gonna pull up the NBA standings. NBA standings. Where's Indiana in the playoffs? 13. Indiana's 11. You know where the Thunder are? If you go up 1, 2, 3, 4, the Thunder are at 7. 4. We're at 7, buddy. Okay. And honestly, we might have moved up to 6 just because the Mavericks lost. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, second best rookie in the class. Get that out of my face. Jalen Williams is the second best rookie in the class.
You're still at 7.
Third best rookie in the class, the other Jalen Williams. Yeah. Fourth best rookie in the class, Ousmane Dieng. Aaron Wiggins, bucket. Olivier Sarr, bucket. Lou Dort. He makes me mad most of the games he plays. But he locked up the claw. Josh Giddey. Yesterday, last shot of the game. No shot clock.
He locked up the claw?
20 seconds on the clock. No shot clock.
When did he lock up the claw?
Lou versus Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is one of the best ISO scorers in the league. Okay, let me guess on my player. He's one of the best scorers in the league. You know, all NBA, MVP caliber guy.
No, he's not. Says who?
You know, we all know who Kawhi Leonard is. One of the best players of all time. Top 3 if we're being real. Lou Dort stopped him. Single-handedly. Like, no help. Single-handedly stopped Kawhi Leonard. Okay, I'm done. Shout out the Thunder, though. I'm happy that they're in the playoffs and all that. My question is, how bad... Say that again? Oh. How bad do we need a center? We don't have a center on the roster, like, at all.
That wasn't your question.
Yeah, he's like a power forward. He's not really a real center. He's like 6'9". Yeah. 6'9".
I thought you had
He's
Jalen
big.
Williams.
He plays big, but he's not no real center. Like if we play Luka, or not Luka, if we play Jokic, if we play Jokic, I don't know what we're gonna do defensively. I mean, I feel like we can find a way to make it work, but
sounds like
I don't know. I just think we need a center. That's my biggest thing. And our center, who we drafted, is hurt, which sucks. So that's my question. I don't know if you guys have any questions about one of the best teams in the league. Yes, he can carry. He's been in the playoffs before. He sat behind one of the best playoff players of all time in Chris Paul. So yeah, because there's nothing to question, really. I just said something so I didn't seem biased. They're winning the finals, guys. We know.
I didn't have a question.
Warriors.
Oh my god. Oh man. Golden State.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on,
but because I think at this point Wiggins is kind of out of the picture. I'm just not going to talk about him. If they get him back, it's going to be a big help. But we're just going to talk like he's not going to come back. So let's just say, can Poole and Clay be consistent together? Because it just seems like one of them will have a good game and the other one won't. And the next game they switch, they flip, and that's just not. You need all 3 of them to be good because you don't have Wiggins.
Yeah, you need someone to step up. My question was, can they win on the road? Like they really suck on the road. I think they're the worst road team in the league. It's like so bad. They're the worst road team in the league. They're great in where are they at? Is Oracle still, or is it called Chase Center? It's Chase Center. So they're great in Chase Center, but best believe they leave Chase Center. It's not looking good. It's not looking pretty.
It's Chase Center.
This is not where I like to play at. The role players just. I just found it so crazy how Steph had 50 the other night and they still lost.
They went to Wells Fargo. They were like, "This isn't our bank." You know?
Oh. They were at crypto and they just couldn't get it done at crypto. They were like, "Wait a second, this isn't Chase Bank.
That's so sad.
This isn't Chase Center." Any questions for the Warriors, Frank? I mean, Ethan.
Because crypto's not real. Crypto's a scam.
Yeah, they can't.
Wigs. They cannot.
Yeah, it's personal reasons. He's been out for like a month.
Yeah, yes, we know this for a while.
Dang, no,
He's on
not
drugs.
wigs. I know what you're talking about. Him and Jordan Poole were tripping. I don't know what they were going.
You
What
know
was
those
going
videos
on?
of him, those videos of like him at the White House. They're like, oh, he's always high. Like you guys see those, right? So
Andrew Wiggins has one of those
Right,
2K injuries.
right. So
you know when you're simming
what
in my
is-
league, and then there's the auto-generated like
it's just
injury
a Michael
story.
Jordan
And it's like
situation. They're
Steven
they're
Adams
covering it up.
watched TV for too long. Will be out for 2
Like,
weeks. That's what Andrew Wiggins is going through right now. We don't know the injury or whatever is going on. Like,
But you know what's interesting? Apparently, something came out that the whole team is like
yeah,
like supporting him. So
it's
apparently
something. If
actually
they're not
something
like,
serious.
dude, come
Like,
back, it's
actually-
not even that
if the
deep.
team
Like,
is
it has to be
report that,
something
like, the
serious.
team is out there. That could be fake too. But if we're saying that's real,
Maybe someone.
then I think we know
Right.
for sure that's something serious.
Yeah, Clay's trying to get 5, not 4.
What's
Wiggins,
what's serious in basketball at this point?
Like,
No, you can't name
you're
it.
the
Though.
fourth
You can't
option.
name it.
We need you to get on the court
What,
so
like-
we can close out these fourth quarters,
what-
buddy. Like,
No, but like no, but
I'm trying to think. I think the only thing it really could be is someone passed. Maybe his
okay, bro.
parents. One of his parents passed away.
But for real, what do you guys?
I think that's something that can make you step away from basketball for a little bit. But like, I don't know. It's been a pretty long time. It's been like a month now. Hopefully, it's nothing with him.
Yeah, if someone, I don't think it could be with him. That's the thing. I think it's like
Yeah, maybe he's just.
maybe it is with. Is it? Maybe he has like it has to be him.
Goodness.
Mental. Yeah, because I think if it's like a family member, they would have died already. No,
Yeah. Body's not there no more.
no,
buddy.
no, like,
Like,
no
wrap
disrespect
it
to whoever has passed on, but you can't stay in
we need
the room
5.
for that long.
I'm tired of 4. I
Uh,
need 5. Been out
Right.
for 4
But
weeks.
wrap
Come
it up,
back.
though. We need.
Oh, yeah. I think Wiggins. I want to know what happened. Hopefully, he's cool
Yeah, so
because it has been like a month, and I don't know what's going on. And it's really weird because usually, knowing the NBA media,
Let's move
things
on.
like this would really come out. Like a lot of the stuff comes out really quickly. They have a lot of information. No one knows anything about what's happening to Wiggins, so it's probably really serious. Hopefully he's alright though. Anyways, on to an actual good team. At the next seed, we have the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yeah.
I just said, can he
I will
play in the
say,
playoffs? I'm not even sure if he can
can
do that at this
Westbrook-
point.
elevate more than he does not elevate the team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's why I act in a specific way because it's like the game I watched when he was playing. He played so good. I think they're playing the Warriors. That's the time when Steph had 50. And he was playing so good. Like he was getting 5 offensive rebounds. He was hitting threes. He was being so like incredibly impactful. When he's playing like that,
This
you
man on
want
the
him to
team.
play really bad because that's a big plus to your team. Honestly, that's a huge plus to your team. And the energy he brings, the leadership, everything.
That
When he
Hayes
plays terribly, it's like,
4-day contract
man.
in a fourth world country, buddy.
the team send him to India for that 4-day contract.
Uh,
4-day contract.
no, I think it only goes down to third. I've never. I've never heard it go to fourth, so I just made fourth up. I'm not gonna
He
lie.
said fourth world. Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah,
Just,
I said Russ because I
Russ
feel
is
like in
third.
playoff scenarios, when it comes down to the last shot, if Russ isn't taking the last shot, Russ isn't even the second guy taking the last shot.
that was a.
So where's Russ going to be at on the court if he's on the court? So best believe if Russ is standing in the corner and it's a game-winning situation, Clippers down by 2 against Dallas,
for some reason.
I'm leaving Russ so open. I'd be so if Russ hit a game-winning 3 on my team in the playoffs, I'd just be like, well, he hit one, the first one he's made all series. Not gonna happen. But he's off way more than he's on.
I think if Westbrook is hitting threes all game, you have to guard him because when he's on, he's on. When he's off, he's off. That's how it is. That's true.
You're helping severely off of Westbrook. Maybe you're not leaving him completely open, like I'm saying.
In the final minutes, I think you have to guard him. I mean, obviously you can guard other people more than him, but I think you still.
Bro, imagine Russ hits the side of the backboard.
You shouldn't, bro. Because I think.
Oh my goodness, the amount of times I've been posted on Sports Center, Bleacher Report, NBA, ESPN, Stephen A. Smith would have a take and be like, Russell Westbrook cannot play the game of basketball. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't know. The rest is the X factor. Plus, Paul George is out for 2 to 3 weeks, so it's really interesting to see whether they're going to actually be in the playoffs. Because realistically, they might fall down to the play-in, just because they don't have Paul George. So we'll see where they even end up in the first place. Yeah, they have a lot of good, talented players.
I think he's been
Zubac, Covington, Eric Gordon, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George.
Pretty big boost because he averages like 17
It's a
points.
deep roster. Mason
So many
Plumlee,
players, man.
who's not trash anymore. Mason Plumlee's actually decent now. So
Eric Gordon.
yeah, that Russell
Eric
Westbrook is the
Gordon.
biggest question.
Eric
I
Gordon's
think
such a good
Ethan,
pickup.
you would agree with that. Russell Westbrook is a big question, right? And in the playoffs, where does he fit in the lineup at all? Phoenix. It's gonna work. I mean, I think for me, it's just can they stay healthy? Chris Paul has a crazy injury history, especially in the playoffs. Kevin Durant is kind of turning into kind of an injury-prone kind of guy. And Devin Booker wasn't that healthy this year. He's had a couple injuries, and I think they were like groin injuries, hamstring injuries, and those things linger. James Harden had a hamstring injury, and it's still bothering him to this day, it feels like. So, I mean, all of those guys have kind of trash injury histories, and then DeAndre Ayton is the fourth dude, and I don't know how like helpful he's gonna be if he doesn't choose to, play good on any given night. And then my other biggest question was who's the fifth guy on the roster? Like in the playoffs, obviously you have those four dudes, but who's five? Who is five? Josh Okogie? Cameron Payne? Bismack Biyombo?
I can give that to you right now.
Jake Layman?
Guaranteed answer. No. Let's check it out.
Oh, Terrence Ross.
Bismack.
But like in the playoffs, are we serious? Oh, TJ Warren. Oh, I forgot he was on the Suns. Oh my goodness. TJ Warren. Maybe it's him.
Terrence Ross is probably.
If he's even playing, I haven't seen a single highlight or clip of him even in the Suns jersey since
TJ Warren.
I left here for a reason.
Yeah. He probably doesn't want to be back because he left Phoenix. He probably doesn't want to be back there.
Yeah.
My question though, pretty much similar to yours.
But is he the third option though?
Option in the playoffs.
Is Chris Paul not the third option?
Because I think that's what they need him to be. I think he's part of like he should be part of like a big three.
But
in my opinion, he's
Mm-hmm.
a facilitator first. He's a facilitator first.
Mm-hmm.
If they're all playing with each other,
I don't even know if they have enough guys to play a
23 minutes
rotation for
with
Chris Paul. It's just they don't have enough people, and the
Booker
people
and
that they
Brown
do
on the
have,
bench, you know,
I don't
at
know
least a
if
little bit of minutes.
Chris
So I
Paul
would
can
assume
afford
that-
to play that much. Like, yeah, they're not deep. They don't have, their top guys aren't the kinds of guys where you can like not be that deep. Like, it's not Luka Doncic where Luka can just play all those minutes and it's whatever.
They got Landry
Chris
Shamet,
Paul is
Cameron
older,
Payne.
bro. Kevin Durant is old. Like, I don't know if those guys can play 40 minutes a night and then have one day of rest and play the next game. Like, I'm a little skeptical of that. Yeah. Booker, yeah.
You know Booker's playing the whole game.
you got to
Honestly.
prove Bad Bunny wrong.
Booker, yeah, Booker's gonna play like.
No, but I've seen it on Netflix a couple
Oh,
times.
yeah,
I haven't
yeah,
gotten
yeah.
to watching it. I'll watch it.
Y'all watch Bulls?
I keep seeing that meme though, where they like turn around and then they look at the screen. It's kind of funny. So I'll watch it just for that part though. Once it gets to that part, I'm gonna just turn it off.
In my opinion, you know what's funny? Thomas the Tank Engine. Yeah. No, it's really good. It's really good. But I was looking at the cast the other day for some reason. I saw Bad Bunny was. I'm like, oh yeah, he did play. I thought that guy looked familiar, and it was Bad Bunny plays. Remember the guy in the white
Devin
suit?
Booker's nemesis with the bullet train.
What's his name? Yeah, at the wedding. Yeah, what was his name though? What was like his? He had an animal name. Was it like the? I'm not gonna embarrass myself.
That's
and say that
great
wrong. I was looking
quality.
up.
I'm not gonna lie to
The
you,
wolf.
Frank.
The wolf. Yeah, Bad Bunny. Can I show you a picture of my phone?
Oh yeah.
You ain't seen that shit.
A wolf. Oh,
Oh, no, I was,
Buddy.
no, I'll try it
Buddy
again.
for
I'll try
real.
it again. We see this
That's
bad quality.
Bad Buddy, bro. That's
Bad
Bad Buddy.
Bad Bunny.
That is
He's right there.
definitely-
He's
That
right there.
might be Bad
This
Bunny.
looks like
I'm not too
Bad
sure.
Bunny, right? That's Bad Bunny.
You guys ready to move on to the last three? Because this episode is almost 2 hours long. Sacramento Kings. I said, how much will the lack of playoff experience hurt them in the playoffs? Because, I mean, they have some dudes. Sabonis has played in the playoffs, and Harrison Barnes has played in the playoffs. But I don't know if they have any other guys who have played in the playoffs that I can think of. Yeah, that's the big thing for me. Mm-hmm.
I was gonna put that. I was like, will that matter that much? I think it will a little bit for sure. But they also have the 26th
Yeah.
rated defense in the league. They have great offense, but their defense is 26th defensive rating in the league. So how much will that affect them in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Because playoff defense.
That's a good question.
It
Is
levels
it
up.
Mavericks
So we'll
bad?
see what
No,
happens.
but
I mean,
like,
they're a fast team, so they can
they
do,
have
like,
they have defensive
decent
personnel.
team
It's
defense.
just not a lot of it.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Grizzlies. I don't know. Okay, I just said, was the midseason turmoil too much to overcome? All the drama. Brandon
What?
Clark is injured. Steven Adams is injured.
Oh.
John Morant is a hood rat and a former
I
felon.
thought,
Like,
Okay.
so, yeah, it was really weird because no one talked about it. It wasn't like John Morant's coming back today. It was just he got subbed in and then he dunked, and I was like, oh wow, John's back. Cool.
he's back. He's
Grizzlies
back.
still aren't
today.
making it out of the West though. Woo! It's a parade inside my city.
Yeah.
I'm fine out west.
They beat
How did y'all
they beat
play?
the Houston Rockets today. Morant.
How did he
off
shoot?
the bench?
The ball, I mean, not like his gun.
He had 17 and 4, 5 and 2, and
So
one.
he was shooting the ball though.
Six,
he was shooting,
6 for
right?
13
Frank, he was shooting.
from the field and 0.
Ja-
for 2
Ja
from
Morant was
3.
shooting?
But otherwise, he had a pretty good game. He had good plus minus. He had steals,
Yeah.
blocks, all
I
that
think
stuff.
Adam Silver, get this man out the
But
league.
yeah, he was shooting. He was. Yeah, he
Oh,
was
oh,
shooting.
no one got hurt.
100%.
It was just shots were fired, but no one was hit
Uh,
with the bullets.
he missed though. He missed. So
He was just-
Ethan, you got a question?
What's your question?
Oh, bro, it's frozen. What the heck? Wait, are you watching the same shit I am? Wait, what the heck is going on? What the heck?
With all like the extra talk and stuff.
Why is his face moving like that?
Mm-hmm. Kyrie didn't even want his jersey. Kyrie was like, "Oh, I was thinking about other things." No, you weren't. You just didn't want to give Dylan Brooks your jersey. Stop lying. Just be straight up.
Hey,
Yeah.
Ethan, turn your camera off real quick and put it
Dude,
back
only
on.
can't
Bro.
hit that target. Yeah, no, we can hear you, Frank. Come on, give us.
Yo, dude. Hey, can y'all hear me? I'm so delayed. You guys, turn off your cameras real quick. Y'all are so like fast motion. It's like someone fast forwarded.
No.
Oh, it's good now. It's good. My question. Yeah,
Denver
no.
Nuggets.
We got 4 of these. Can they get one? Nope. Nope. All right. Let's move on to the
Get my mom
final seed.
under.
Ethan, the Nuggets. Go ahead. Question. Your moment.
He feels strongly about the Nuggets bench. Like reliable ones, 0. Who?
How many bench players do you think? you
Okay,
got
wait.
on
What's
that?
your guys' starting lineup? So it's Jamal Murray, KCP, MPJ, Aaron Gordon, Jokic,
0, huh?
Christian Braun. Do we consider Bruce Brown a reliable bench player? And then, I mean, he be dribbling and stuff. He decent. Like,
Yes.
there's a reason he's not on the Clippers anymore, but I guess he's solid.
Bruce Brown is great.
Man, get that out of my face.
Oh.
I don't think DeAndre Jordan's played this year.
Oh.
Yeah,
Who,
he's
DeAndre Jordan.
it's just not
Oh, they have
Jeff Green. Really? Are you serious?
They have Uncle Jeff Green.
Don't get offended. I was just asking because that's
Jeff Green is
like Jeff Green.
actually
Ron. I mean, Jeff Green being one of your favorite players of all time is a little questionable. He's like a role player.
He's just that guy.
Okay, he's just enjoyable for you to watch.
Well, like one of my favorite players that I've like seen play while in my lifetime. Just like
he's reliable. I mean, he's been in the league for a while.
Yeah, he's always like I've always seen him like he always does something like.
Are him and Jermichael related?
And he's old. He just plays.
Jermichael and Jeff Green aren't related. Are you sure? Are you sure?
I like him. Yeah.
No, he's not.
No.
No, they are. They have to be.
They're not related. Jeff Green's related to Draymond.
Oh, I guess they are. They just okay. Not bad.
Related, bro.
Jalen Green, Jermichael Green, Jeff Green, Draymond Green.
Not related.
I'm gonna go on Basketball Reference. I'm gonna tell you all the Greens really quick.
They don't.
Oh my God, Danny Green.
Just how many Greens do we have?
That's 5. There's no other ones.
Danny Green.
Yeah, you're right. But Danny Green's not in the league.
There's 5 in the league right now. 5 in the league right now.
Yeah. What about Brown? Green and Brown are
right
like the
now,
2 color last names. Just Jalen Brown that I see so far. Bruce Brown.
Yeah, but he can't. I'm counting.
That's like the 2. Kwame Brown is a basketball player. That's like 2000.
Bruce Brown.
Kwame Brown played with Michael
Kwame
Jordan
Brown.
in
Wait,
Washington.
no, that's a football player.
Yes, and then he played with Kobe and Shaq on the Lakers. That's such a long time.
Oh, he is a basketball player.
Just Brown players. Giannis Brown, LeBron Brown.
I don't remember. I'm just naming Brown players. I mean.
Oh, I said
Brown.
My question was how much of a defensive liability is Jokic going to be in the playoffs? He's good defensively. He's much improved defensively. But like, if Steph Curry, Shea, Luca,
Yeah.
Devin
Good
Booker,
question.
Kevin Durant, De'Aaron Fox, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Lowry Markkanen, Damian D'Angelo Russell, LeBron James. If any of those guys get switched on Jokic on the perimeter, I'm pretty confident 9 times out of 10 they're scoring. Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, Reggie Jackson, Joel Embiid, I guess, even though he's in the Eastern Conference and I'm talking about the West. Like, I don't think Jokic can guard the perimeter. I'm not going to lie to you.
Joel Embiid.
That's my biggest question.
My question
He got
is,
dunked on by his teammate.
can you protect?
I didn't know where you were going with that statement. I was like, "What do you mean? He's one of the best offensive
Because-
players in the league." But okay.
I mean, you can't. You can't.
Yeah, he did get dunked on. Anything else? I think we wrapped it up. I mean, that's 2 hours on the dot. Four hours. Oh, I feel so bad for anyone who's going to listen to this on Spotify
Sure,
and they won't
but you know
see
what?
all
I
of
think
the
we should keep
fours.
going
They'll just
until-
hear it, or like they'll hear our laughter. They won't really get it. They won't really get the 4. Honestly, Ethan, when you do the thumbnail, make the thumbnail Klay Thompson sticking up the 4 finger. Please. Yeah, no. Oh, like Giannis is answering questions. Okay. No. Yeah. Play 4 thing, because that's been a thing since we started with basketball till an hour later, and that joke is just still so
Giannis in a
funny to me.
press.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be back next week, though, right? Hopefully, depending on how everything goes. So, hopefully we'll be back next week. You got track?
So fine. Well, I won't be back. Actually, I'm gonna be in Washington State, but
Mhm.
actually, I mean, we're on break. I'm actually just stay at home. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. I think I could just record, but I won't have this nice computer. I might have an ass computer, unfortunately.
Yeah, an episode's an episode either way, so we'll take it.
Are you on your phone? Okay, so I can go on my phone. It probably won't be that bad.
Anyways,
see.
so Ethan actually plays chess. I don't know why you would invite me. I don't
Yeah,
know how to play chess.
But
My brother knows how to play
Phil, you
chess.
trying to join a chess tournament with me?
He plays football. Let's not get it twisted. Like,
Well, because
actively,
you're not
no.
You're not doing a sport, so I figure you might as well join one.
Yeah,
Ethan already plays
he is
football.
out of the league. Like Killian Hayes is about to be by the time our next episode comes
That's right.
out.
I forgot.
That concludes this episode of the Power B Franchise Podcast. We'll be back next week with more wholesome NBA content. We'll be back in a little bit over 4 days. See y'all later. Maybe we'll get a 4th co-host. Like, Yuli? 4 people on the podcast?
Ooh, Ulysses Chet?